Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday live Q&A. My name is Noah Wickham. I am sales director here at My Amazon Guy, and I am here to answer any and all questions that you guys might have. I have my nice little Christmas setup, somewhat not nearly as nice as the Halloween setup here, but that being said, I still want to give a little bit of holiday cheer, I suppose. So to get started, first and foremost, I see a lot of people still trickling in here. Make sure you ask your questions in the comments. We will get to them in the order that they come in. And past that, let's get rock and rolling with some questions. First on the docket today, we have Jonathan. Jonathan is asking, is the number one way to leverage / scale a private label listing PPC? It's a great question. Realistically, this is actually one of my favorite questions to answer because people, I think, have the hardest time understanding what it really means to scale. And realistically, the answer comes down to a yes and a no. It's like a half truth. When it comes to scaling on Amazon, it really depends on where you're actually at in the process of selling on Amazon. Are you somebody who is doing $5,000 a month? Are you doing 10,000? Are you doing 50,000, 100,000? All of these different placements on Amazon really depend on what you are going to be doing to actually continue to scale your brand and your business. The biggest answer to your specific question about advertising is yes. PPC is going to always be playing a crucial role when it comes to scaling. Now, is it the only thing to help you scale? No. Is it the number one thing? I think that depends on who you talk to. Personally speaking, I'm always going to be somebody saying you need to advertise on Amazon. You know, we're talking a decade ago, when I was even launching, my first kind of brands, right? You could theoretically start on Amazon if you found a good niche that didn't have many people and, had some search volume in it. Yeah, you could do well without PPC. But in this day and age, Amazon is much more of a pay to play market. Unfortunately, that is. And so PPC, yeah, always going to be needed. Not necessarily something I would say is like the number one way to leverage or scale, but it is going to play probably one of the most crucial aspects in your ability to scale. Secondarily, Jonathan is asking, is the sponsored product plus coupon launch strategy outdated? No. I mean, yes and no, I should say. Coupon at launch is kind of meh. Realistically, I like just playing with the price in general rather than doing a coupon at launch. So one of the things that we preach here is the idea of like a perfect launch strategy, right? And I love the idea of if you can afford it, slash 50% off of your starting price. The reason for that is that price is the number one converting factor on Amazon. Something people will hear me say a million times, and it's just true. Realistically speaking, it just is going to be a huge converting factor, but it's not the only converting factor. So starting with that 50% off price, it doesn't have to be a coupon. It can just be what you have your sale price set at. And then, yes, obviously sponsored products, just advertising in general is going to be playing a huge crucial role when you initially launch. So, to answer your question in a long-winded way, I guess, Jonathan, yes, both of those are good strategies still. It's not like it's outdated in any capacity, but it's not necessarily the only way that you should go about it. And you shouldn't put your eggs all in one basket or another there. Okay. Viper, hey no, long time. Hope you are doing well and have a blessed holiday. I am doing well, doing quite well. Went to go look at some places this morning. Not the best, but that's all right. And yeah, doing well. Hope you are as well, Viper. What is the percentage of new sellers make over 100K in sales year one? And what's the percentage of people that do 1 million sales? Do you think it's possible for a second year seller to do 1 million sales? All right, so let's break this down. First off, percentage of new sellers that make over 100K in sales in year one. I'd actually say it's probably pretty high realistically, but also if you look at actual data, it's probably excruciatingly low. The reason for this is technically speaking, doing $250,000 a year in sales on Amazon puts you in, I believe, like the top 5 or 10% of all sellers. The issue behind the statistics on this is that the amount of people that just create a selling account on Amazon and then just never do anything with it is so overwhelming that it just skews all of the data. So it makes it seem like it's this way bigger deal than it really is. Don't get me wrong, $250,000 in sales is insane, and 100K is still insane, right? That's still, realistically, if you have good profit margins, that's an entire person's salary, and they could live off that, depending on where you live, I suppose. But to answer your question, is it possible to make 100K in first year? Absolutely. It's if you're doing everything correct, you have a really good product and a really good market, really good branding. You have the inventory control. You have the right advertising. You don't get into a super competitive market. Absolutely, 100K is easy. We frequently have new brands that they put a lot of money into it. Now, don't get me wrong. Is it necessarily going to be something that you can just do willy-nilly? No, you have to put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and unfortunately a lot of dollars behind growth that will get you there. But is it possible? Absolutely. Now, what's percentage of people that do 1 million sales? That gets even worse. Technically speaking, again, from a stats percentage, less than 1% of sellers, or technically the top 1% of sellers on Amazon, do over $1 million in sales. Now, that again seems wild to think about. But again, that is with a very large swath of sellers who just never do anything, or they launch one product and they do $20 or something, or they try and resell, I don't know, some product they bought at the store, right? $1 million, yeah, that's it's a big ask, but can you do it in year 2? Yeah, you could do it in year 1. I have seen brands that they take off. They, again, do really well. Even as recently as this year, I am seeing a brand that, for instance, we helped launch this year. They didn't sell their first product until April of this year. And now I believe they just passed $1 million for this year. So is it frequent? No, obviously not. $1 million, again, is still just a huge, huge hill to climb for 99% of sellers. But it is definitely something that I do see people being able to do, and frequently still be able to do on Amazon. It just takes a lot of effort, the right product, the right timing, the right branding, right ad strategy, the right partners like us, things like that. And then second aspect, in sales, if in their previous first year they did 300K, yeah, if you did 300K last year, I mean, don't get me wrong, and if that was your first year, that's a phenomenal first year in my opinion. If you do, into the mid 6 figures in your first year selling on the platform, that is a phenomenal first year. Realistically speaking, it just is. Now, if you are looking at from the perspective of like how much growth you need, the one thing I do want you to understand is that means second year you are looking at doing, roughly 250% growth, which seems, when you put it in that perspective, a lot more daunting than just saying 300K to 1 million, right? Because it means you have to be prepared to sell, 2.5 times more units than you currently did. You have to be prepared to probably spend 2 to 2.5 times more on advertising, right? So a lot of what I see the issue with scaling, and I think this even goes back to Jonathan's thing about scaling and leverage. The number one issue I see with brands and scaling comes down to cash flow. Even here at My Amazon Guy, I think one of the largest things that happens with brands is there will be times where we grow brands a little too quickly or a little too fast, and they have some cash flow issues. And it's just a thing that I see happen so often of brands are not prepared to go from that small 6-figure range into a 7-figure seller, which the cash flow is just different. You are getting more cash out than you are in a lot of points during the year. If you think about Q4, you got to put a lot of inventory in for Q4, right? So that's just why I'd be mindful of Viper. If that's something that, you're at, if that's a place you're at, that's the biggest thing I'd be mindful of. I mean, this is the type of thing that I used to, back when I was doing consulting and whatnot, this is exactly the type of thing I would coach people on, because so frequently I would just see it happen with brands where you have this great brand, great product, great everything, and then it just flops and dies because the company owners don't know how to actually scale and don't know anything about doing business. Yeah, they have a great product, but they don't understand getting a loan. They don't understand how they're going to get inventory. They don't understand inventory control, things like that, and cash flow. So just be mindful of that, I guess. That was super long-winded answer as well. I mean, we're 10 minutes in. I spent, nearly 10 minutes talking about that, but I love those kind of questions. We got Poochie Mama. Okay, very nice tree, Merry Xmas. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was not even actually planning on decorating, but I was at the store. I saw that and it was like $20. I'm like, you know what? Why not? I need something for my office. So here we are. Viper again. I still haven't received career connections. It's been 9 months. Viper, I remember when you first were asking for career connections, and I'm sorry that it hasn't worked out. And it feels bad saying this, but I know brands that have like joined on with us in that meantime that, within a month's time have gotten access to it. And I thought that Amazon was supposed to release access to everyone at this point. So it's weird to me that you don't have access at this point. I wish I could help you. I think legitimately, again, the only thing that I am going to consistently tell you to do, just keep berating Amazon seller support about it and asking them, hey, when am I going to get access? What is the ETA for this? Because again, I've seen a lot of other sellers come and go that have access to it. If you're doing 300K, ones that are smaller than you. So I wish I could help you there. I really wish I do, but this is one of those areas where I think Amazon just really, really sucks at being consistent with, right? They're not actually creating a, yes, this person gets it, this person doesn't, or any real regulation around that. There's kind of handing out whenever they do. We got Chris in the house. I know PPC is not magic, but is there a time that after starting PPC that you start to see sales or you're not getting sales? I mean, realistically, you should start to see at the very least traffic same day that you start PPC, right? So you should be seeing impressions, maybe clicks, depending on what you're doing for the PPC, if it's super relevant, how much you're actually bidding, things like that. You should see sales relatively quickly after you start getting clicks. When you think about it, let's say that you want a click-through rate of 2%. That's actually super low as far as like a full click-through rate. Conversion rate of 2%, which is high. Click-through rate 2% would be low. But let's say you want a conversion rate of 2%, right? So like every 100 clicks, you're getting 2 orders, right? So first 50 clicks, did you get an order? No, kind of low. And still, I mean, that's a low conversion rate. So realistically, it should be pretty quick after, Chris. It just depends how much you're actually spending, how many impressions you're getting, your clicks, what the search volume for that kind of keyword is as well. So if it's auto, it should be relatively quick there. Let's do Viper. What tips can you give a seller to scale to 1 million in sales besides PPC? Ooh, I think I talked a little bit obviously about this here, but scaling is really interesting because it depends on where you're at. Again, cash flow is king. So cash is king always. Make sure you have proper cash flow. Make sure you have proper inventory control and forecasting. Those are the really crucial steps. Outside of that, you need to be looking at things such as, what does your brand actually look like, right? So do you have a good, well-rounded brand? Is your brand story decent? Are you seeing a plateau in how many sales you're able to get? Are you at number 1 position and you just can't do much else there? Okay, look at diversifying your portfolio of products. That's one area and way you can always get more sales, right? If you have one product that does really well, is there a variation of it? Or is there a sister product you can do? That can help you scale more horizontally than vertically when it comes to sales, but it is one way. So that's kind of horizontal scaling. Secondarily to that, for your actual, let's say, single product, always focus on trying to improve every metric you can and bleed as much as you can out of it. If your ACOS is currently at, let's say, 60%, and that's a good margin for you, right? Can you get that down to 40%, but keep the same exact sales volume? Now, that's more profitability, but that's more cash in your pocket, which helps you reinvest into inventory, helps you reinvest into more advertising because you can add more ad dollars. So these are the type of things when you're looking at scaling Viper to that level, you have to be thinking about, right? You have to be thinking about your cash flow. what is going to help have you or give you more cash that you can reinvest into advertising, into inventory. Look at doing things such as UGC campaigns, doing off Amazon targeting, building your brand portfolio with more products. All of these things essentially tie back into cash flow. So profitability is always the most important thing there. But then on top of that, one of the things I'm always talking about is do incremental increases. A/B testing is amazingly useful when it comes to scaling. So, using services like PickFu, especially if you're looking at like new product launches to kind of go horizontally in your scaling, use PickFu. Just ask people, be like, hey, is this a product that you would purchase alongside this other product, right? If it's a sister type product to your current selection, stuff like that is great for A/B testing, just getting incremental increases in sales. Viper, I know. You had a store. Can you tell us your experience with your store and why you don't have any more? I've had several. So for those that don't know, I started like reselling on eBay. I would buy products at like Goodwill. I would buy products at like garage sales. I mean, I was really young at this time, but that's what I started with. And my primary one that I started with was actually like trading cards. So things like Magic Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all that stuff. I would resell those. And this was before people would do like PSA grading and all that type stuff. So it was just, selling cards that people liked, right? So that's how I actually started. It wasn't until like 2 years after I started selling on eBay that I was like, I should do something else. I, obviously went the route one point in time of drop shipping, set up several Shopify drop shipping stores because that was hip at the time. So I unfortunately do have a drop shipping background, which I get it, a little cringe. I do. But from there, I obviously went down the brand route because dropshipping was kind of falling off first and foremost, and it was just getting a little saturated. But I did end up launching my own brand. I've had 5 brands at this point in time. So, realistically, the biggest thing is that I learned from both running my own brand and then also while I was doing my own brand, I was working on others. So I did consulting, right? And that consulting actually is what led me into the route of kind of having my own mini agency that I was running, where it just got to the point where people were like, hey, you're helping on this project. Can you also do this? Well, no, I can't because I am awful at graphic design. So let me hire said person to do it. So that's the short of my background, realistically. I'd be happy to make a video, post it on our YouTube sometime, just kind of talking about, my full kind of experience with, my first brand, second brand. Those are probably my 2 best ones. Most recent one I launched was, I got rid of it in 2021 or 2022, somewhere around there. Would have had to be 2022 because we had the whole pandemic thing. Anyways, doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to record a video, Viper, and post it on our channel at some point or something like that if people are interested in it. We got Micah. Good to see you, Micah. Always happy to have you. How much does account health score impact organic rankings? Not really. The only thing about account health score that's going to impact is more so the actual product itself, right? So things like featured offers. So if you have a low account health score, if you are frequently missing ship dates, canceling beforehand, if you have, a lot of returns on a product, right? Things like that, or defect rates, essentially. That stuff affects featured offer, which then will severely negatively impact your organic ranking. So it has some effect at the end of the day, but your generalized account health doesn't necessarily impact the organic ranking of your products necessarily. It's just more so these specific areas can have then adverse effects that then affect the organic ranking. So it's not a one-to-one. It's more like a, causality line, I guess, or cause and effect line. Louis, looking to improve and drive more traffic to my Amazon listing. Looking into shoppable videos on my listing. Is shoppable videos a good thing to invest in? I'm hit or miss on this. I think it depends on the product more than it does on the actual shoppable video. I am much more in line with the idea that things that can be considered much more of a impulse buy do better for shoppable videos. The reason for that is that if someone has to learn a lot of information about the product, they have to make sure that it meets all of the certain criteria that they're looking for. If, they have to look and see, does the product make sense for them, right? Is this the type of product that they can just quickly purchase. So great example. I bought this little computer cleaning kit a little while back, right? This is type thing that's an impulse buy. It was like $5. I just wanted to clean off my keyboard. I got it the next day. This would be like an easy shoppable video type thing. Think like a TikTok, right? Honestly, I might have even seen this on TikTok. Who knows? But versus, I don't know, a cell phone, right? So like if you have a cell phone of some kind, yeah, that's going to be harder to get a shoppable video for, just because people aren't going to impulse buy that as much. Price is a big factor in that, I think. Akil, why don't some of our ASINs don't get the Zoom enabled? We have them in. Easy. So if you don't have Zoom on your ASINs, there is typically one of two reasons. Number one, you are in a category that you can't Zoom. Every single time someone asks this question, I can't remember the categories. I know that apparel is one of them. I believe, oh goodness, where are the other ones? Someone's going to put it in the comments for me, because someone always does put it in the comments for me. But there are several categories in which you can't have zoomable images. Apparel is the one that always pops into my head, but there's, I think, 3 or 4 of them. I think sports and outdoors or just sports equipment might be another one. I don't know. Somebody will post it, I'm sure. If not, somebody from our team might be able to post it. Who knows? Either way, secondary option or potential issue here is that you are just having your main image is not meeting some form of criteria. So it sounds like you have the right pixels, you have the right amount of white background. That's fine. No extras, etc. That's fine. You can still have an issue. I have seen this where, for instance, you are uploading a JPEG versus a PNG, or you are uploading some form of wrong format. So change your file format around as well. If you aren't in one of those categories, that is, and then all else, just contact Seller Support, and they usually give you a direct reason. So things like images, they're actually surprisingly good with giving you the issue that you're facing. Max, I had the meet with Greg. I love it, by the way. I still waiting to the hiring DM offer from Mag. Oh, are you talking about Greg Potts? That's great. I love that guy. How much do you change this service with Levanta to your clients as agency? Are you saying charge? Oh, charge. Yeah. That I hate new iPhones update. All right, Max. I actually don't know. I don't think we have it up just yet. I think that's something we're still working out with the team over at Levanta as far as potential partnership stuff. I'm happy to I'll talk to them more and try and figure that out from our end. Again, I love their service. I'm so happy got the chance to talk with Greg. Again, he's a great guy. I love Greg Potts. Somebody clip that and send that over to him so that he feels better about himself. Nonetheless, yeah, great service. And I'm sure that we'll be doing something with them here very soon. They just got a huge investment round, which is super cool for them. So love that for them. Javed, I know it. How do I keep myself updated with Amazon business and industry changes happening in this fast-paced ecosystem? Give idea on Rufus and its potential strategies. So for changes, anything like that, honestly, this is a great podcast. Another podcast I would advise people at least do like a re-listen to, or anything, is one that I'm on actually frequently, and I'll even stream it on our YouTube channel here, is Todd Welch's podcast. He actually does a weekly one. It's the hour before this one, which works out extremely well, where he does Amazon in the news. So essentially anything that's new, changing within the Amazon ecosystem, he talks about. Secondarily to that, I always love, and I'll share my screen here for half a second. One of the first things I do every single morning when I log on to my computer is I come to Amazon's news, which you can always do. If you just go to the little home section here and then you go down to news and just do see all, I always look to see, have they added anything new in the latest news? They actually did a huge change to this recently, which makes it a lot more user friendly. But as far as Rufus goes, I think people are overhyping Rufus. Again, it's just a chatbot. It doesn't actually know anything. People try and act like it can be great when it comes to like keyword research, things like that, which I guess, yeah, you could look and get data for specific listings and competitor listings on like what keywords they're ranking for. But it's like, just throw the ASIN into Helium. Just look at Cerebro, right? Like it's going to give you the same exact info. Maybe, I don't know. I think people think that because it's from Amazon, it has like some specialized knowledge around why listings are doing better or worse than others. I don't think that's the case. I think it literally is just a chatbot, which again, chatbots have been around for like, I don't know, 10 years, a decade. I had a chatbot on a Shopify store back in like 2016 that did basic customer service for me, right? And so the only difference is that the ones nowadays are a little bit smarter, quote unquote, with, AI. I also don't even know if Rufus is actually technically AI. Yeah, it's, a form of like algorithmic machine learning, but it's not like true AI. Anyways, that's my piece on Rufus, I suppose. I don't think there's a lot of potential strategies. Yes, you can look at, competitor listings, see what makes them good, makes them bad, see if there's any issues with them. But I don't think it's something that's going to necessarily help, especially because I've seen people use Rufus where it's actively telling people to add prohibited keywords into like titles and bullet points. So like that alone tells me that it isn't following like terms of service. So it's a whole thing. Anyways, Pratik, hello. We have search term on which we are one of the top clicked products. How to maintain that position? Okay, let's do this because you have like I think 2-3 questions here. So first one, you have search term top product. How to maintain that position? Continue getting sales. That is the biggest thing. So continue getting sales. Make sure that you keep that search term within your listing. So you continue ranking organically. If you start to slip or see it going on a downtrend, check the search volume for that search term. Ensure that it's not just a total market search volume going down. You can do that with Helium. You can do that with SQP, either one. And then secondarily, if you really need to, add some more advertising into that. So you get both placements ranked on the product pages for that search term as well as organically. Second, I have a search term phrase, which I would like to put in exact match. It's 100% cotton, but Amazon ads doesn't allow special characters like percent. Then how do we put that search term in exact match? 100 cotton. So unfortunately, yeah, you can't do things like percent, but 100 cotton, it gets you there, right? You also have to think of how many people are actually doing the percent sign, things like that in the search. Amazon usually will skip over stuff like that, and you can still rank on 100 cotton as like 100%. You could also just look at doing a phrase match, essentially doing 100 cotton. That helps a lot more. But yeah, it should, in theory, with the way the exact works, be able to skip over that percent sign still and still rank on that. Viper. My inventory has been stuck without being checked in for over a month. Any ideas to try and speed up being checked in? I know they are overwhelmed. Fortunately not. They're overwhelmed. They even put out that statement late October saying like it's going to be an extra 45 days for most people. That isn't, Black Friday oriented. So it's unfortunate, but there's not much you can do this time of year other than continue to pressure and hope that they can do something. It's just kind of a first come, first serve basis right now for whatever is getting checked in. And that's just how it's going to be for a while. Last I checked, there was actually a couple of different Amazon facilities that have like major truck backups, where people are having to essentially come back like days in a row and just sit there for the entire day, hoping to be able to unload their trucks. So it's just that time of the year. It's Q4 on Amazon, baby. It's what it's all about is send all of your inventory in as early as possible. It is a lot better, in my opinion, to have to pay an extra month's worth of storage fees, increased storage fees, than it is to be fully out of stock come, beginning of Q1. David, hello, Noah. Maybe not a weird question. I would hope not. Best recommendation when you need more capital and regular banks don't want to lend money because I'm under 2 years and less than 100K in revenue. Look for things like credit unions. Credit unions are really, really good about doing loans, things like that. I would also look less at regular banks. You can also look at things like getting it depends on what you need the loan for. Are you trying to get the loan for like Amazon fees? Are you trying to get it for advertising expense? Are you trying to get it for inventory? That really depends. So what you're going to use it for is largely what I have found in the past, the biggest differentiator in how it works. So if you are showing that you are a profitable business, you're doing really well, but you need to invest in more inventory. You just don't have the capital to do so. It's a lot easier to get a loan for something like that than it is to say, I want a loan so I can advertise more because my business isn't doing well, right? So nonetheless, look at things like credit unions. Always, you can try and work through some businesses that are like loan officers, things like that, who will help you through this kind of process. I definitely would always read the fine print because there are some places like don't do a personal loan or anything like that. Always keep everything within the business at the end of the day. Gabriel, does Amazon share the actual statistic about the percentages of how much sellers make as a whole? Yeah, no. Technically, yes. That was the most Midwestern answer I could have given. Technically, yeah. So Amazon puts out data. Usually, it's not even technically Amazon. It's businesses like Statista. They always do a lot of these reports, and theirs is not based on all of the sellers, right? Theirs is based on them doing surveys, things like that, and getting generalized data from like 100,000 people answering a questionnaire, things like that. So that have like a specified interest in that area, I should say. There are data points where they take information from Amazon's actual release data, right? So Amazon it's a publicly traded company. They have to put out and make available a lot of their data around things like this. So they publish every single quarter their quarterly numbers. Yeah, everyone typically only looks at like, oh, did they make money or lose money? Why? But it has a lot more than that. So if you were to look up and actually be an Amazon shareholder and get that shareholder report, they give you a lot of data. You can also ask Amazon specifically for that data. So there's stuff that as a publicly traded company, they have to do. So that's where some of that statistics comes from at the end of the day for that. I haven't actually looked. The numbers I was quoting earlier, I should mention, that was like technically last time I looked into this was like 2.5 years ago. So it could technically be a little off comparatively. Then who knows? Maybe it's up, maybe it's down. I would have to look, but that was what it looked like about 2 years ago. Admin, what do you recommend to control Campaign Manager? Campaign Manager. I do everything inside Amazon's own system. You can use bulk files, but Campaign Manager. How much it helps in organic ranking outside traffic, attribution links, career, tons. Amazon loves when you push traffic externally into Amazon through things like attribution links, through career connections, etc. That's always going to be something that I am heavily going to say, yes, do that, because it's always a great way to get it. And you get stuff like brand referral bonus, which, that's an extra 10% off your fees. Why wouldn't you? So yeah, always push external traffic if you have the ability to. Adnan, do you suggest to use tool like Atomic or Perpetual, or manual is best to get more control? Manual is best to get more control. AI has its purpose in some cases. Really depends. But manual is always best. And I bet that this guy right here would also agree with me. I love this guy. He's one of our PPC specialists, for those that don't know. He always is providing me with up-to-date information on the new changes in the ad world on Amazon. So thanks very much. Happy Friday to you as well, sir. One more question, as I am new to this. Sure, let's do him. What do you suggest to find the exact competitors? That Helium. So you can do competitor research, do market research based on your product, but you should know what your exact competitors are. What's the keyword that is your number one keyword? If you were to search exactly for your product, what is the keyword you would put into Amazon, right? Are you selling jump ropes? Okay, type in jump ropes. Who shows up? There's your competitor, right? So that's how, at the end of the day, that's the like layman's way of doing it. The secondary way of do this would be directly for in Helium, right? So open up market research. I love Market Tracker 360. That's a pretty nice one where you can do it over time to actually see if new people hop in the market as well, but that's just me. Let's see here. PPC is starting to work after outstock for a while. What are the best PPC campaigns you recommend for progressive growth after? Oh, okay. So you're asking like, what is PPC after you go out of stock? Typically speaking, you just want to be aggressive in your placements. So top of search always, right? So if you were out of stock for a long time, you really want to work off of your top keywords again and be very aggressive with your placements. If you saw great success in things like top of search, do it. But I am always going to say, be super aggressive right out the gate whenever you are out of stock for a while, and then you get back in stock. That's just going to be absolutely something you should be doing, because there's no point in trying to slowly work your way back up, because again, you get a little bit of a rubber band effect, or at least it seems that way. I'm sure in the microphone just catches the glug, glug, glug of my water bottle every time I do that. Susan, nice dog picture. 1 of 3. Ooh, all right. Let me find the other 2 before I get in this. I don't see the other 2, Susan. So we're gonna do the 1 of 1. It seems. I have a dilemma on whether to relaunch or formally suspend items under a new ASIN. It was pulled by Amazon when other brand went after products for patent infringement on part of the item. Ooh, I really wish I had. Oh, I do have 2 of 3. It was our best seller, and they sent back our stock. Not much luck selling elsewhere. It looks like the brand that went after us is not selling on Amazon anymore, and they don't have a website. And 3 of 3. Look at that. If we relaunch with a new ASIN, how likely is it that Amazon would shut down our account altogether versus spending new ASIN? Do you have insight into risk of losing our selling account? Yeah, so it's much more likely in this scenario, Susan, that you're probably going to just get patent infringement again, which is going to take down the ASIN. If you continue to actively do that over and over and over and over again, yeah, you're going to get your account taken down. That's just it. Amazon doesn't like that. They don't like people who frequently are violating patents and IP. Now, if it turns out from what it sounds like, if I'm not wrong here, where was the second one? Dude, it's like I found your 1 of 3 and you're, oh, there it is. So bestseller and saying not much luck selling elsewhere. It looks like the brand that went after us is not selling an Amazon. Yeah, it doesn't have a website. Yeah, I mean, to me, first off, the biggest thing I'll mention here, Susan, just because someone doesn't sell on Amazon, it's a brand. Oh, I'm going all fuzzy, so I'm gonna go like this and hope that it works. There we go. Just because someone doesn't sell on Amazon, they don't have a website, doesn't mean they don't have a patent, right? So patents can be owned by anyone. I could own a patent right now for something I've never even built, made, anything. Doesn't matter. So patent infringement, that doesn't matter. You still have to abide by it. You can't break someone's patent infringement, right? So what I would typically say is, yes, you can launch another ASIN that likely will be hit with the patent again. It's just like that, unfortunately. Your best case, whenever it comes to patent stuff, reach out directly to the patent owner, try and work out a deal with them for having rights to that patent and being able to utilize that patent. That is the purpose of someone owning a patent. People don't just patent things and then say, okay, that's it. I'm just going to patent claim anyone who, uses this. People utilize patents, even if they're not going to have their own brand or their own product, so that they can then sell the rights to that patent, right? That's just how patents work, and that's why people utilize them. So I would reach out formally to them, see if they would allow you access to that patent, and see best of luck with it. Some people are kind of mean with it, is the best way to put it, where they just do exactly what I said the first time. And other people are like, yeah, sure, here it's going to be X, Y, and Z percentage of your revenue, a royalty of some kind for every unit sold. Asif, hello, I appreciate the opportunity to join your session. Always happy to have it. Yeah. I'd like to ask about optimizing PPC campaigns. Do you recommend selecting a specific day each week for campaign adjustments? Not really a specific day. I mean, or do you have other criteria for optimizing them? Yeah. So for campaign adjustments, I'm going to recommend typically 2 to 3 times per week. I like to do it, first thing on Monday, just because you have the data from the weekend. This is if you're not adjusting on the weekend. I usually don't, unless there's like a major change that's needed. But you have the data from the weekend. You can see what did well, what didn't do well. You're on Monday. There's usually not a lot of sales volume on Mondays. People usually dip on Mondays. That's just when also you should probably day part. Secondarily, update it and check it on Wednesday. And then finally check it again on Friday. This is personal, right? In the sense of if you don't weekends, which if you do, just choose 3 days out of the week that you like to do this, right? You shouldn't be over optimizing your campaigns. You can update every single day if you really want to. You're going to probably lose out on some critical data around your keywords if you're trying to micro optimize every single day. So I'm always biggest fan of 2 or 3 days a week. Other criteria. Oh yeah. Other criteria for optimizing them as well. Yeah, I mean, stuff like the day parting I was talking about, if you see your campaigns are like overspending throughout the weekend at like, I don't know, 2 a.m. on a Sunday and it's running out of budget, day part. We could get into, I guess, technically ACOS conversations, tacos conversations, bidding adjustments, placement adjustments. All of that, I think, is just basic, though, from what I'm kind of talking about. I got something going on with the neck. During this holiday season, we've been receiving a lot of clicks on our PPC campaigns. Could you share some tips on how to optimize these campaigns? Specifically, would you recommend adjustments on a daily or hourly basis? Daily. Hourly is too much. Again, if you're going to do micro optimizations on campaigns, hourly is just too much. Unless, and this is a big unless, you see that you are running out of budgets, you are overbidding, so your budget is going out of control. You have a huge budget, but your bids are going out of control. You're spending $10 per click, whatever it is. With like no sales, like outside of that, daily optimization. The only time that I really recommend hourly or like every 2-hour optimizations is during like major selling days. So like Prime days, yeah, keep a fine tooth comb on your ad campaigns. But outside of that, no, I mean, daily is fine. The biggest tip I have for the holiday season is usually bid a bit lower than you think you have to, but increase your budgets. People are just going to be shopping around like crazy right now. Think of it as like a very, very packed mall. Just because people are walking past and looking at you and they may walk into the store and pick something up doesn't mean they're buying it. They're just looking around because they got nothing better to do and they have to buy someone in their family, their little cousin, a gift, and they don't know what their little cousin likes. So, spend less if you can on bids around this time of year. Increase your budgets because there's just more volume overall. Come usually the 21st, 22nd, cut your ads off. I mean, realistically, cut them off on like the 24th, 23rd, 24th, because you're not going to sell anything on Christmas Eve, Christmas. You're just not. People may purchase a few things, but otherwise it's just going to be a lot of clicking, realistically. Pratik. Search term on which we are one of the top click product, how to maintain that position, advertising, continue sales velocity. That's all it is. Realistically, when you are number one on a search term, keep that search term within your title, within your bullet points, etc. But just continue sales velocity, both organic and paid. There is nothing else you can do outside of that to maintain that position. Sales volume is what dictates ranking on keywords. It's what dictates ranking in categories, etc. Always sales volume. Viper, I started drop shipping, but I like Amazon way better. It's a better model for me and more consistent. Agree, but I will also say I was drop shipping Viper on Amazon before they even had rules about drop shipping on Amazon. So I screwed the pooch, I guess, for everyone on that because I was part of that crowd. It was, yes, mainly on Shopify, but back in the day, you used to be able to drop ship like crazy on Amazon. You could on Walmart. I never did on Walmart. I know people who did because Walmart was really slow to update the drop shipping policy, unlike Amazon. And so Walmart, you would have a lot of people that were cross-selling products on Walmart from Amazon, having them fulfilled from Amazon for a long time. And same thing, vice versa and whatnot, because they didn't update the policies enough. And, it's difficult. It's interesting, but nonetheless, you should definitely do a video about your brand experiences. Yeah, I'd be happy to. I just got to find time. A lot of the videos I've been doing lately have been kind of more tutorial-esque whenever I do. Also, the new Launchpad program is amazing. It offers free Vine registrations, which I've used in combination with Launch Strategy, and also free Lightning deals. I know before it wasn't too good. Yeah, I'm still hesitant on Launchpad Viper because they're offering these incentives because they need to get new sellers. This year, I think, was like a record low for new sellers on Amazon's platform. Um, it's like the first year in the last like 4 or 5 that the number of like new sellers coming on decreased in comparatively to like the year prior. So that's one big thing around that and why Launchpad's getting better. But the secondary aspect to that I would say as well is I don't like that it still allows Amazon to technically own technically your graphics, your data, your product material, that type of stuff. If you sign up for Launchpad and they create all of that for you, I think it's still a little scummy, in my opinion. There are some people who are like, oh, no, it's not that. That's not what they're going to do. I understand, VC is dying, so it's less likely they're going to do all that kind of stuff and whatnot, but I still just don't like it. It's a hit or miss. Also, Amazon reps just 9 times out of 10 are just not great. They just don't know much about the platform or actually selling on it. They should honestly make anybody who's an actual like Amazon rep that you pay for through like the SAS program, they should have to have their own brand. That should be something they do. I've had my listing up. Oh, Roichi, look at you. I've had my listing up for 5 weeks in organic keywords. I have 1,500 keywords with PPC 150 keywords, but sales are a bit slow now. So when do I swap keywords in my listing? Do I swap out the ones not delivering with new ranking keywords in my listing title, alt text? When do I know it's time to do that? First off, Roichi, love to hear 1,500 keywords after 5 weeks. That is incredible. The amount of people that I talk to on a daily basis that have had listings up for years and they have 400, 500 keywords and they're doing, regular sales, it's insane. It's insane. So the fact that you're at 1,500, great job. Hats off to you. Secondarily to that, to answer your question, yes, I would always advise updating your SEO at least once per month. If you haven't already, check out our SEO course. We go through the 4 phases of SEO for indexing and essentially doing your market share, your strike zone keywords. Absolutely update. And if you have keywords that are not performing, yes, swap them out for better performing keywords. Secondarily, obviously you only have 150 keywords, so you're doing about a 10-to-1 ratio. That, in my opinion, Roichi, with where you're currently at, is a little low on the paid side. I would like to see that be closer to a 5-to-1 just based off of where you're at. But again, I don't want you to overextend yourself on advertising. You've already done really well here. So, hats off to you. Secondarily, Roichi, you ask, how do I get invited to or buy Launchpad? I will let you know this. If you are a brand new seller who has been selling on Amazon for less than 12 months and you think that you want to have a little bit more help, but you're not at a point where you are ready for an agency, reach out to us and we can kind of help you get started there through our agency referral program. We can get you help from the Launchpad team and things like that. So happy to do that anytime. If you guys just kind of reach out to our sales department, talk to us, and nothing needed there, but would always be happy to have that conversation at the very least. Caleb, any way to get rid of competitive pricing buy box submissions? Retailer has priced at $15.99. We are at $17.99. Prices are higher because Amazon's fees are higher. Working with brand that has no map. Not really, unfortunately, Caleb. That's just one of the things. Sounds like you're a reseller. That's part of the reseller world, unfortunately. That's not something you can really do much about. It's actually how the resale world goes, and it's the biggest aspect of it. Who can have the lowest price? I know resellers who make over $1 million a year, and guess what? The way that they do it is they are okay with making 2, 4, 6 cents profit per unit because they can just do such massive volume compared to every other retailer. And over time, what that ends up doing is that 6 cents turns into 20 cents, $1, because they get much lower rates because they're getting more volume and purchasing more from the wholesaler, from the manufacturer. So unfortunately, Caleb, that's just part of the game. There's not much you can really do. The only real thing you can do in this scenario is advertise, but even that's not guaranteed to get you that placement that you're really looking for. So if you are looking to do something, throw some auto campaigns out there, really low bid stuff, but it might help you with the overall clicks that you get and then the overall sales volume, which should help a bit. Jonathan, Serious Sellers Podcast 2. Yeah. If you're talking about the Amazon news, which I'm guessing you are, Serious Sellers, is another really good one, Jonathan. Big fans of those guys. Roichi, why did you stop if you are so good at this? You should be familiar at this point with your stores. Let's see. Okay, this is completely irrelevant. Why did I stop my own brand? Oh, that's a great question. There's a lot of in-depth answers here. Again, it sounds like there's a bit of interest in a video around this exact topic. So I will get a video out. I'm going to be out mostly the end of the year here with not much going on. So maybe I will, during the holiday season, sit down and record just a dialogue of kind of the story there and what's going on with that. But variety of reasons, Roichi, that it would take far too long than today to get into as to, why I stopped with my own brands. And good reasons, I should say. Roichi, again, I'm told to run PPC on keywords that I'm organically ranking under 15 if I don't have it running in my PPC. If I'm organically ranking, then why spend more money on it's organically ranking? Because the thing about organically ranking on a keyword means that you are showing up essentially in a top of search placement. So there is more than just top of search when it comes to where that is. Let's say that you want to still take market share from the rest of the sellers. So the best thing you can possibly do to protect that number one position is make sure that other people are not getting that number one position or getting sales from you. So what you need to do there is you need to do product page targeting or rest of search targeting. This is going to put your product not only at the top, but also on other people's pages, also in the rest of the search, which is going to give you more placements overall to help you continuously rank and get more sales volume. Because the last thing you want to do is have number 2 or number 3 start ranking super fast with more sales volume and taking all that from you. So it's an easy way to do that and just keep yourself as visible as possible in the consumer's eye. Viper, I have a product that's $8.99. Just want to get rid of 300 units. Should I try haul, liquidation, or just destroy them? What's the fastest and cost-effective way? I'm downsizing to focus on my hero. So first off, try haul. You can't. It's invite only. If you've gotten an invite, that's cool, I guess, but don't do haul. It sucks. You know what? Actually, it's not entirely true. I got my products from haul finally. I'll show off one of them here. Here, look at this. I got from haul. If you guys watched my video on haul, I bought some microfiber microfiber towels on haul. I will tell you this. They are, one, not microfiber, quite the opposite, in fact. I mean, it's polyamide, which is not a part of microfiber. They're all right. I wouldn't use these for anything. The only thing I use them for is I keep one on my desk right here, and I use it to clean my glasses. Outside of that, they're pretty bad. So, yeah, don't do it on haul. Secondarily, liquidation is an idea. Realistically, here's why I always like telling people. If you have a product that sucks and you don't want it anymore, try and just get as much money out of it as possible. Liquidation, you're going to get maybe pennies on the dollar, if that. If it's $8.99 and it's going to cost you money to sell that product, if you were to lower the price on it, just destroy it. If not, then you could lower it down to, what's the lowest you can do? Can you do $6.99? Are you still making 25 cents a unit? Lower it as much as possible. Otherwise, just get rid of it. It's not worth the time. Don't liquidate. I highly recommend that people also learn about business credit and building your business up. It will help with funding for Amazon. Yeah, absolutely. Especially Amazon used to do the whole funding thing. They don't really do that anymore. It's because people just would lose constantly. And it just wasn't worth it for Amazon. A lot of businesses did that. I think Shopify is now doing that as well. There's like Shopify loans you can get, but absolutely agree with Viper here on the business credit and learning about it. Matthew, can you patent a formula? Yeah. Look at the health or the pharmaceutical industry. How do you think any form of drug whatsoever is ever patented? It's because they're not patenting the drug. They're patenting a formula to make the drug. So if you're talking about like a recipe or something, it depends. I'm not a patent lawyer by any means, so this is not legal advice. But what I will tell you is that yes, from my knowledge at the very least, you can patent formulas, but I am not the one who gets to decide whether your formula gets patented. Let's see, Pavan, I am probably butchering that. Who knows? How can sellers justify spending $5 to $10 per click on PPC ads for a $20 product when Amazon's FBA fees take $9, $10? The numbers don't seem to leave any room for profit or even the COGS. Ooh. So a couple of ways here. First off, again, I talked about how some people are okay with making cents on the dollar. That's just true. There are some people that are okay with their profit margins being 1%. They work off of a volume game and volume game only, right? The second aspect of this is you're assuming what their COGS are. You're assuming that they are spending $5 to $10 per click. There's a lot of assumptions going on. You don't necessarily know that's the case. You don't know, if they have backing. And then there's also the case of some people, I see this a lot, especially in the supplement world, are willing to take a major loss and hit on profitability if it means that they can grow to an extent where they will eventually get a bunch of organic traffic. And that's also the area that you are forgetting about here is organic traffic. The thing that I am always telling people, stop caring about your ROAS. Stop caring about your ACoS. The only thing that matters is tacos. The best example of this I can give is think about the real world. Do you think that if billboards did not work, anyone would pay for them? Okay. If you don't have a number on your billboard and you're just advertising on that billboard your shop, if you see a direct impact of new customers coming through the door, you can assume that your billboard advertising has a direct impact on that. Amazon is the same exact way. If you see your organic traffic going up and the amount of sales you're getting from organic going up, and your tacos stays a consistent, let's say 10%, but you have increased your ad spend 2x, 3x, you can directly assume that your advertising is increasing your organic brand presence, which then increases your organic sales. So if somebody is spending $5 to $10 per click on PPC ads, it's called a loss leader. They are willing to spend that $5 to $10 if it means that they grow organically, because at the end of the day, it's better to do that and grow your business than it is to just not grow at all, right? It's all a volume game at the end of the day. So I hope that answered that question, Pavan. That's the thing. Nobody is going into Amazon. They're like, yeah, I'm only losing money and I'm going to keep losing money. And that's how I'm going to have my Amazon strategy. The big aspects you're forgetting from this is one, organic sales and traffic. And then two, the idea of having loss leaders in the hopes of, having other products that do really well. Shafiq, probably also butchered that. Hi, we registered our brand and our product is active, but Amazon won't give us the new seller incentive. What should we do? Well, so you have to actually start selling for the new seller incentive. Again, I mean, you could reach out to us. We can always get people the new seller incentive. But it sounds like you're not actually selling yet, which is part of it. So Amazon wants you to start actually selling before you get any form of new seller incentive. It's not like something there's like, boom, turn on, here's some money, right? So new seller incentive is for sellers, not for people who have registered a brand and a product. How to get straight. I don't know what this is asking. Here it is. How to get strike through price. What is more important for conversion, strike through, or you've put this 3 times now. What's going on here, man? Aragorn. Okay. How to get strike through price. How do I find reference and typical prices for my ASINs in Seller Central? What is more important for click-through rates, strike-through or coupon in search results? Thank you. Well, for click-through rate, I would probably say it's going to be strike-through, just because, realistically, coupon, yeah, it shows up, but a lot of times, in my opinion, it's just going to be strike-through because people see that as the big number and everything. I'm like, oh, that's the actual price. I love doing both of them at the same time. I think that works really, really well. To get strike-through price, all you have to do is you have to have your price and list price, and then you have to have a sale price. That's strike-through. How do you find reference and typical prices for your ASIN in Seller Central? It's not typical prices. I know what you're talking about. So reference price is the price in which you are referencing for the strike through. That is your price. That is the essential average selling price. So that's your reference price where you are actually selling the product at. Then strike through is that sale price. So that's essentially how you can look at it, is for the reference versus non-reference. And then in search results, again, I would probably go strike through over coupon most times. Coupon I think is nice, but I like the look of strike through. But maybe I'm old school like that. I skipped a few people here to get to that question. Can I use Revolt as a payment method when opening my seller account? Revolt is online banking. 9 times out of 10, no. There's so many of these, online banks nowadays, and I know that so often they just don't work. And the reason they don't work is because of how they give you your bank statements, how they give you your information, all of that stuff doesn't line up with what Amazon needs when you're opening a seller account. Now, is that 100% certain for Revolt or any of them, or Revolut, whatever? I don't know. I would have to look at the actual document to be able to tell you that. I just know personally from people who have tried in the past, it's very difficult for a lot of these different, online like fintech, basically banks to actually go ahead and get you the documentation that you need, because you don't technically have a bank account with them. But that's a whole other conversation. Abdullah Khan, what is your PPC strategy from new product? And what is your daily budget for testing? And what is the match type campaign? Daily budget matters only for the type of product and what you are selling in your category. I can't tell you a daily budget because, 1, I don't know how much you're willing to spend. 2, I don't know what you're targeting. So does your keyword cost $45 a click, or does your keyword cost 45 cents a click? These two things matter when we're talking about daily budget. Now, for PPC strategy for a new product, talk about this, I think, literally every week, but I'll always answer it again. I always will say start with doing at least 2 exact campaigns for your top 10 keywords. Do 5 and 5 in each one. Look at those. Then do an auto campaign. This auto campaign should run on each of the different match types. Very low bid to start on that auto campaign, but that'll get you new keywords to actually look at and do some gold panning on and create new campaigns down the line for what's working. Past that as well, open up a phrase campaign. And then I also am always going to recommend doing a competitor ASIN campaign. And you can do category targeting, not the biggest fan when you first launch with that, but the competitor ASIN campaign will help quite a bit. Focus when you first launch top of search and product pages only. But past that, good luck to you. Adnan, where to get your SEO course? The one you mentioned in one of your answers. To get our SEO course, I'm sure somebody's going to beat me to the punch here on the back end, but you can actually just go to magschool.com/SEO, and I beat them to the punch. Let's go. magschool.com/courses. Our SEO course is the very one up top. You can just check this out anytime. Mag School is great. I'm sure somebody will throw it in the comments, or we'll throw it on screen here. I'm not sure. Either way. This is the one I would look at. I would also, there we go. I did beat them too. This is why I like being a little bit faster. We have some people on the back end, our social media team, and they're always great whenever they put anything up. SEO phase 4 is another really good one. This is for our market share specifically. This is the one that I think a lot of people who are especially looking to scale their SEO don't exactly understand how market share works. So that's a great one. And then I think, no, it's the only other one. So yeah, those are the two primary SEO ones that I would look at, is those ones. So there you go. Abdullah Khan again. How to give client weekly report. What is included in report? Amazon PPC report. Yeah, we use a software called Merchant Spring here. That sends out an automated report. If you're not doing Merchant Spring, then I would just honestly start creating your own template. Figure out what are the most important metrics that your client wants to know and wants to see every single week, whether that's sales, ACoS tacos, conversion rate, click-through rate, etc. And then download reports direct from Campaign Manager and direct from your fulfillment reports. Get those in, throw them into a template, send that out every single week. There is not a, how to give it to them. It's what do they want? Ask them the questions, right? What is important for your client to see every week? I am Amazon PPC expert. Yeah, just look up Google. Let's see. Can I patent a formula that I didn't make but doesn't have a patent? No, I don't believe so. Again, not a patent lawyer, not legal advice. I'm an Amazon guy or e-commerce guy, probably is a better way to put me. But yeah, no, from my knowledge, no. And I believe that's because, imagine if people just went around. Actually, you may be able to. I'm not positive. Isn't that what Thomas Edison did? I don't think Thomas Edison actually invented the light bulb. I think someone else invented the light bulb and then he patented the light bulb, and like a bunch of other stuff as well. But I believe the people that he employed are the ones who came up with it, which, yes, if someone else works for you and a part of their work is inventing something, whether that be a formula or anything else, and then you then have that ability to patent that as it is technically yours and your company's, because you paid them for the work that created that patent. But if like someone else you just don't even know created a product or something, you want to, copy or patent it, no, you can't do that. No. Louis Nguyen, how do you compete against Chinese sellers who slash prices to rank and have fake reviews to boost listings? What advantage as US sellers do we have to counter? Marketing / social media? Yeah, I mean, that's a big one, marketing and social media. But the biggest thing to always recommend when it comes to US versus China is just remember, products usually aren't as good. It's just a case. Building a brand authority around certain products, around certain categories is always going to be the, obvious biggest advantage the US company has. We just understand the general consumer a little bit better. The only thing they have is obviously fake reviews and prices, right? So just make sure you have a really good product, really good branding. Make sure that it is known that you are a US company. Make sure that it is obvious you are trying to, showcase yourself as such, and go from there. So it's a little more complicated, I should say, than that. At the end of the day, do we have a counter? Yeah, I mean, that's our counter, right? That we are a US company and we can claim that. Marketing and social media, I would also agree. But that gets into the side of, again, that's branding. It's all about your brand building, whereas Chinese companies don't care about brands, which, yeah. Blizzard Wolf, thank you for the $5, sir. Do detailed reviews matter for new product or just standard star ratings? Also, avoid requesting a manual review if customer refunded. Yeah, avoid requesting it if they refunded, because obviously at that point they may leave a negative review. I would say it's a 50-50 on the detailed versus standard. I think detailed is probably better if you don't have that many reviews, because people are probably going to be more impactful of those reviews that you have if you have less. I personally also just don't think if you don't have that many reviews, they don't matter as much. 5 reviews is the equivalent of the same thing as 50, so on and so forth. So keep that in mind, everything with a grain of salt. The bigger thing I would say is if you can get like a video review really early on, that can do wonders for the product, just because people can see that. People love the photos, they love the videos from other people, etc. Oh, I lost my placement. Viper, I think. Yeah, here we go. I have a website trademark that was approved for Amazon. Would you still recommend getting a trademark for each product I'm selling? The word mark was approved and I can kick people off. Yeah, if you have a word mark, then that's fine. You don't have to get a trademark or a patent for every single product. It's all about the word mark, right? So that's the biggest thing when it's protecting your products and protecting your brand. You can't really technically protect your products without a patent, obviously. So if you can get a patent for your product, great. If you can't, then oh well. But yeah, the word mark is the big aspect there. That as long as have you should be good. How to find competitors' PPC spend? Any tool for it? No, you can't see what other people are spending on PPC. You can go to Helium, look up keywords that they are currently ranking on and that you're ranking on, and you can see what the average spend that people are having on it is, but you can't see specifically what one person is spending on anything. Louis, if a customer click on our PPC ad but purchase it a few days later, will it show up as an organic sale? Depends. So Amazon does have attrition when it comes to clicking on ads. I would have to re-look up, Louis, what that is. And this makes a really good topic for a video. So let me do this. Let me have our team on the back end. They'll remind me to do a little bit more research on this again and then make a video about it. And I'll post that on our YouTube sometime here in the next couple of days. That's a super good topic because technically, I believe it depends on timing and how long it is. I just can't remember what the timing on that is. So I will look into that and I will let you know. Roy Chi, what is cutoff of removing keywords from my listing that is not performing? I have many under 25 with high keyword sales and search volume, but what is cutoff? Right? From like cutting off those that are not performing. There's not a specific you have to cut anything off, right? But what I would typically say is if you have keywords that are just literally not performing at all and it's been a month, you don't have any search volume behind them, they're low search volume, not performing, get rid of them. Negate bad keywords always. Especially in advertising, if you have keywords that are not getting impressions or they're getting impressions and clicks and they're just eating you and you're not getting any sales from, negate. Do not be afraid to negate a bad keyword. Just don't negate good ones. Outpost pottery. How can I connect a Outpost pottery? Didn't you? I feel like I've heard this. Either way, how can I connect a loss leader product to other products on my storefront? Parentage. I would always connect it via parentage. So if you have a loss leader product to other products, yeah, you can do parentage. You can do bundle products as well, like virtual bundles. That would be a great idea to do that there. So I would do both those and see, what works for you. It really depends on what the product is for a loss leader versus your other products. So like if they have nothing in common, it's much harder to do that. But those are like the two primary ways that you can go about it. Afnan. Okay. I have two variation, but one variation got out of stock. How can I run the same campaign with other variation? You can just add the other variation into the campaign. So you can add products into campaigns. So that's what I would do is just add it into the ad group and run it across the same campaign. Richie, but I have tons of organic ranks under 20. That's a lot of money for PPC. LOL, rest of search and product placements. Is that in auto? No, rest of search and product placements. Those are like under exact campaigns, phrase campaigns, broad campaigns. But auto campaigns is like close match, loose match, compliments, etc. So if you have a lot of organic ranks under 20, that's fine, Rich. You don't have to go against every single one of them, right? You don't have to be spending a lot on this, especially if you're still growing organically. Again, organic growth is always the number one goal, right? Because that's essentially free money, right? You're not having to spend anything for it and you're still making sales, still making money. That's easy autopilot. So you don't have to do it for everything, just what makes sense. Top keywords. All right, guys, we have a lot of questions to get through, so I'm gonna speed run here because I do gotta get going, and my throat is starting to kill. I have been answering and talking a lot, so let me get some water, and then we're gonna speed run this in like under 5 minutes. All right, let's do this. Back to naturalness. I have a variation product on Amazon and I have them on FBA and FBM. Does this affect my SEO? Because I know a slowdown when I add FBM. No, it's the same exact ASIN, same exact listing. The only issue you're going to have is if the FBM is overtaking the FBA, which it really shouldn't. There shouldn't be an issue for that unless by chance maybe you have the FBM like way lower priced and that's what's showing up. Otherwise, no, they should be, if you duplicated the listing, it should be the exact same. You can always do a flat file update, just make sure they're the exact same across the board and one's FBA, one's FBM. But it shouldn't have any effect on that. Can I use a debit card instead? No, you cannot open an Amazon account with a debit card instead of a bank account. What do you suggest when we launch a new product? Broad match instead of auto campaign? No, broad match is way too broad. You want to try and get as many keywords that you know are going to be relevant as possible. Auto campaigns are going to help you really source a lot of keywords that do well for your product. So that's what we consider gold panic. So that's why absolutely have an auto campaign when you launch. It helps a lot. Amelia, again, can I use a debit card Visa? No, you have to use a bank account to open an Amazon account. Roichi, what is the cutoff in ranking to swap out on keywords that are not performing over 50, over 25? Oh, that's what you're asking about, the cutoff. I don't think there is one, right? So you can still technically bring those keywords up. So that's the big thing. It really comes down to, are those keywords worth it from a search volume perspective to put the time and effort into trying to get them to rank higher? If you have a keyword that's only has 50 search volume per month and it's rank, I don't know, 28, who cares? Don't put effort into that keyword because it's 50. It's 50 eyes on your product. Whereas you should put effort into anything that's over 300, over 500 search volume in trying to get those as high ranked as possible, right? Because that's going to help overall with your sales volume. Rochi, again, I take further than tacos. I say divide the ad sales by the number of sales in total. That is how much each unit costs per sale. Add up your total costs, include this, and this will tell you exactly if you are under breaking even or above, and will help you determine if you need to increase the price or keeping it. Okay. Rochi, this right here, okay, you guys can't see my mouse, but divide ad sales and by the number of sales in total. That's tacos. I don't know how else to say that, but that's essentially tacos. I mean, it's not ad sales, it's just ad spend, right? By total number of sales. So that's the thing that you need to understand, is that's what tacos is. So I do appreciate the enthusiasm there, but that's not exactly further than tacos. That is tacos. If I have FBM and FBA inventory on Amazon, which one do I run ads on, the FBA or the FBM? Same product. You're running ads technically on ASIN, but in the SKU, so just FBA. I don't know why you would do it on the FBM if you have FBA in stock. Outpost, number one rule is never go out of stock. What happens when you go out of stock? Try and get stock back in as soon as possible. As soon as you have stock back in, launch with a promotion of some form of monetary discount promotion of some kind, and then as well pump into your advertising as much as possible. You should, if you're quick enough with it, have a little bit of a rubber band effect when it comes to your ranking, and you shouldn't have too much of an issue. So yeah, number one rule, never go out of stock. Absolutely true. That's like the Amazon Bible, first rule in the Bible. But anyways, Marnie, hi Noah. Is there any way to track the slowest or no sales in time to be able to do day part? What? Is there any way to track the slowest or no sales in time to be able to do day parting? Not really. I mean, you just track your sales based on a weekly average, right? So look at the last 30 days, what day of the week, parse it out by every day of the week. Which day of the week are you seeing a increase in your overall ad spend, but an A cost, but a decrease in your overall sales? That is the day or the time in which you should do day parting. Simple as that. Hey, bro, I have one question. How to improve PPC optimization? It's yes, one question. It's more like a 20 questions in one. You continuously optimize PPC by adjusting your bid placements, your budgets on a campaign level, not an account level. You adjust your placements. You add new keywords. You do gold panning for new keywords. You add in different types of campaigns. We have a million videos on this. You would be much better served either going to mag-school.com, looking at our PPC course and doing that, or going to our YouTube channel and just typing in PPC, and we have a million videos on this. Outpost Pottery again, you rock. Thank you for all you do. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm happy to do everything. I actually think I'm not positive. I feel like Outpost Pottery, I think, weren't you one? Yeah, you signed on to this. So happy to have you on board. Glad to see you here as well. Michael Kahn, for a new launch product, how many campaigns we should run for better results? I think I just answered this like 10 minutes ago, but like 1, 2 exacts, maybe 3, 5 keywords each. You should have at least 1 phrase campaign, 1 auto campaign, 1 comp campaign. And that's just kind of the start. And then how much budget required for new launch? All right, we're gonna call it there. For those wondering, how much budget do you need when you launch on Amazon, or for each individual campaign, what should you set your budget to? I don't know. How much do your keywords cost? And with that, I'm gonna call it there, guys. For those of you who do not know, I'll do a little outro here real quick. We are My Amazon. We are a full service Amazon agency. My name is Noah Wickham. I'm our sales director here at Amazon. If you guys are ever interested in working with an Amazon agency like ours, which is a little biased over here, but I think the best Amazon agency to work with, reach out to us. Always happy to work with anyone. We have all of our service offerings on our page that you can check out as well. Million different services that we have. As well as tons of testimonials from our clients, our lovely, lovely clients like Outpost Pottery over there, who is a new client of ours. So welcome again, sir. We have coaching. Do we have our new coach? We don't have. We will have a new coach on this coaching page soon. John had to step away from coaching for a little bit. He's going to focus on some other stuff internal to your organization, but he's still here with us. If you're interested, we have SOPs courses, like I said, as well as our academy. And if you're looking for a job, we're always hiring. Check out our careers, and past that, check us out on what else? I guess our YouTube channel if you're not watching on that, and check us out on LinkedIn. Oh, check me out on LinkedIn. I'm trying to grow my followers, so that's a plug, self-plug at the end of this. And I hope everyone has a very, very wonderful weekend and week ahead. We will be back here next Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, to answer more questions. So thank you, everybody.